This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 664, A Guide to Developing the Self-Discipline Habit, Part 1 by Babauta of Zen Habits.net, and I'm Justin Malik, your personal narrator, reading to you every day, just like an audiobook, but free of charge. And before we get to today's episode, big thanks to FreshBooks for sponsoring this episode. I use FreshBooks for invoicing and tracking expenses. It's the easiest tool I found. You can try out all of their features for free for a month, no credit card required. Just come by freshbooks.com/living and let them know that Optimal Living Daily sent you. Now let's get right to it and continue optimizing your life. A Guide to Developing the Self-Discipline Habit, Part 1 by Babauta of Zen Habits.net. One of the most important life skills to develop for those just starting out in life and everyone else is the skill of self-discipline. It's like a superpower. When I developed some self-discipline, I started exercising and eating healthier and meditating and writing more. I quit smoking and ran marathons. I started a blog and wrote books. I read more and work earlier. I decluttered and transformed my finances. I'm far from perfect, but I've learned a lot. But if you don't develop self-discipline, it causes problems, health problems, distraction, procrastination, financial problems, clutter, things piling up and overwhelming you, and much more. So it's such an important skill to develop, but most people don't know where to start. This guide is aimed at helping you get started. I'm writing it for my kids and for anyone else who would like to develop a superpower. Finding motivation. The first question is, how do you even get motivated to start? Most of us don't want to think about our lack of discipline, let alone take a bunch of actions. For me, the motivation came from realizing that what I was doing wasn't working. Ignoring the problems only made things worse. Trying to be disciplined but doing it half-heartedly only resulted in me feeling bad about myself. Being wholly undisciplined was causing myself a bunch of pain. Once you realize that you're causing yourself pain, you might develop a wholehearted intention to stop hurting yourself. You might say, okay, that's enough with making my life worse. Let's try to make it less worse. With that in mind, you can tell yourself that you are going to start taking small actions to make things better, do the things that hurt you less, push yourself into discomfort a little bit so you can get better at this over time, get good at self-discipline with some practice. Keep these things in mind as you practice, as you get the urge to not practice, and as you make mistakes and then want to give up. There are other good motivations as well. Number 1, wanting to help others. If you get better at exercise or healthy eating, for example, you can help your aging parents who need to get better at these things. If you get better at not procrastinating on your life's work, you can help more people with that meaningful work. More on this coming up in the Focus on Others section. Number 2, appreciating life. We have a short time here on earth, and the life we have is a gift. When we procrastinate and give in to endless distraction and don't make the most of our time, we are not fully appreciating the gift we have. Instead, we can appreciate it by being present, being grateful, and being purposeful about how we spend our time. With these motivations, or whatever motivations move you the most, we can start to practice. Small actions. One of the most important things you can do to get better at self-discipline is to take small actions. It can seem overwhelming to tackle huge, intimidating projects, so don't. Instead, tackle easy actions, things so small you can't say no. Have some taxes to do? Just do 5 minutes. Want to run? Just run for 10 minutes. Have a report to work on? Just do the first few paragraphs. Want to declutter? Just find 5 things to declutter. You'll get better at self-discipline if you focus on small tasks and break bigger projects into small tasks. Discomfort training. One of the reasons we don't have self-discipline is because we run from the hard, uncomfortable things. We would rather do the easy, comfortable, familiar things. So instead of facing our hard, uncomfortable projects or finances, we run to distractions, videos, and games. This running from discomfort is ruining our lives. What you can tell yourself is that you're done running. You are going to push into discomfort a little at a time and get good at being uncomfortable. This is another of your superpowers. When others run, you're okay, even if it's not always fun. One small task at a time, push yourself into discomfort. See how it feels. See that it's not the end of the world. See that you are awesome enough to handle discomfort and that the results are well worth it. Mindfulness with urges. You'll have the urge to quit doing something hard or to put it off for now. Those urges don't serve you well. Instead, develop mindfulness around those urges and see that you don't have to follow them. A good way to do that? Hear that in tomorrow's episode. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled, A Guide to Developing the Self-Discipline Habit by Babauta of Zen Habits.net. And I'll finish the rest for you tomorrow. He talked about taxes in this post and having the discipline to do it. And that's a great segue into my sponsor for this episode, FreshBooks. Because for me, tax season isn't bad at all. Putting the info together is really easy because I use FreshBooks. I don't need crazy discipline to do it. So if you're a small business owner or freelancer or want to track all of your expenses, I highly recommend trying them out, especially if you struggle with tax season. They've just launched an all-new, really simple to use software to help you get a handle on your paperwork. All of your cash flow details are in one place. Their mobile app lets you take pictures of your receipts and organizes them for later. And you'll be way more prepared and less stressed next year when tax season rolls around. And we're actually almost halfway there already, if you can believe it or not. FreshBooks makes it so easy and intuitive so that tax season doesn't have to be a headache. Come by freshbooks.com/living to try FreshBooks out for free for 30 days, no credit card required or any kind of payment info. Try it out yourself, and you can also use any of their features like invoicing and time tracking. Again, that's freshbooks.com/living and enter Optimal Living Daily in the How Did You Hear About Us section. That'll do it for today. Thank you for listening all the way through. And I'll see you in the Friday show tomorrow where we'll finish up this post and where your optimal life awaits.